Now we are at the stage where we can explore our clusters. So the clustering has now finished, and we know this because the clustering message has disappeared. And now when you select a file that has been clustered, within the summary window in the ClusterLogic tab, we see all of the listed clusters. These are ranked in order of size, so cluster ID 1 is the biggest cluster, and these decrease in size. And you can see colors associated with each cluster, and we can choose to display these on the plots themselves. We have an area where we can automatically describe the phenotype for each cluster. You could double click and name your cluster anything you wanted to. For example, you could call it Treg instead of having the Treg phenotype. Then we can see the MFI for each cluster in every parameter. So we've got all of the fluorescent parameters here, but we've also got an X mean and a Y mean. This is just the MFI for the parameters that are being displayed. Now to demonstrate the usefulness of the X mean and Y mean columns, if I open a particular plot, you can see now if I tick to display the clusters, they will be colored on the plot. I can open multiple plots and tick to display particular clusters on all of the plots. Now you can see the colors might not match because the order of the clusters can be different within each file. But now we have our colored clusters on 3 different plots. We can use some of the tools in the toolbar to display these more clearly. So we could choose to show clusters only in either a selection of files or in this case in all files. So you can turn off all events that aren't included in one of these clusters. You can also very quickly turn off the coloring on all clusters using either of these options here. Now if we were to choose a fluorescent parameter, you'll see the X and Y mean values will change. So these are the X and Y means for this particular display. So here, if we wanted to try and identify this granular site cluster, we could look for an MFI with a high APC MFI. So we could either scan down the X mean column, or we could sort these by double clicking. So if I double click, this is now lowest to highest. Double click again, we get highest to lowest. So we've got 2 clusters with a very high mean here, and we can also look at the Y mean, so in this case the FTSE channel. We can also quickly scan the event counts, so the size of each cluster, and immediately this looks like a very large uniform population, and if I click on, this is our granular site population. So this is one way you can scan different clusters and identify particular populations. However, once we get to this stage, it is probably worth performing the auto phenotype in order to more easily scan the different clusters and extract what we're looking for.